These ain't glorified gang or prison stories, man. These is lived experiences. Welcome back to the Spine Glow Podcast Show. Duroc Creep. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here at this round table amongst my round table family. Salute to everybody that's able to make this live, and salute to those of y'all that's able to catch it a little bit later, man. I extend nothing but love and gratitude towards you all. Now, look, before I jump into what I'm going to jump into, please allow me this opportunity to ask, if you haven't already did it, man, go like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already did it, it won't cost you a dime. I promise you it won't. It helps us get further into the algorithm. And that's the goal. And as we grow further, y'all take that journey with us. Y'all become official members of this roundtable family, and y'all go on that journey with us, man. So again, hit the subscription button. It won't cost you nothing. I promise you. I promise you it won't. And if you feel like it, jump in the chat. Engage with me. You feel me? Hey man, my moderators is my co-host. Those of y'all that jumped in the chat with positivity, and direction and focus and into uplifting the next man and woman, y'all are my co-hosts. As for those of y'all that choose to jump in the chat and be negative, we got a place for y'all. You feel me? I promise you that. Hey, but look, man. Oh, and make sure you hit the notification bell, man. So when we do these lives, they will notify y'all immediately, and you won't miss a beat on nothing. I promise you that. You feel me? Okay, now look, let me go ahead and get into what I came here to get into, right? Now look, I did a story on the Menendez brothers probably a good 4 to 6 months ago, right? The Menendez brothers, everybody know the infamous Menendez brothers, right? They were charged and found guilty of unaliving their mother and father, right? This happened in what, 89, 90, 1990, somewhere back then, right? Anyway, they've been incarcerated ever since. Okay, now, I told the story about my run-in with Lyle Menendez, right? And I also described seeing his brother Eric Menendez in the county jail a number of times, right? A number of times. And they wasn't the only ones that had high profile cases that was in there with me. You had OJ, who I seen, OJ Simpson, right? Who is now deceased, but he was in there with me as well. Seen him all the time in there, right? And typically when these guys are coming back and forth from court or going to a visit or even maybe to medical, a lot of times they'll make us face the wall. When they are escorting them back and forth to wherever they're going to, a lot of times they will make all the rest of us face the wall so they can walk these guys by without, anybody heckling them or even possibly attacking them, right? So anyway, I told everybody the story, man, on my interaction with Lau Menendez, right? How that situation ended up going, and I'm gonna go over that again briefly with y'all. Although the story is already up on my YouTube page, right? But let me say this: there was a person that ran a story, and they go by the name of Microcosmos or Here, right? I guess this guy is like a reporter at Reddit, right? And just by chance, I came across this guy's article that he did in Reddit on me telling this story, right? To my surprise. So bam, as he was going over the things that I had spoke about as far as this situation goes, right? This guy insulted me as a man. I took it that way, right? Because he described me low key as a racist, right? Now let me explain these times in the Los Angeles County Jail and throughout the whole Los Angeles County period. During these times, you got to remember you had the O.J. Simpson trial going, right? Which involved a whole lot of racism, right? You had those that was getting treated. I'm saying as far as people of color getting treated extremely bad during these times. And on top of that, you had the Menendez brothers situation going, which was, always in the news all the time. Okay, so bam, in the Los Angeles County Jail during these years, which was 1995, right, when I got in there, um, a lot of the Caucasians that came through there during those times, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it real, right? Based on the O.J. Simpson's case and all that, right? The corrupt police who all happen to be of Caucasian descent, right? All that corruption and all the racism that was going on. Any white male that came through that Los Angeles County jail got done extremely bad. Extremely bad. Okay? And that's not me being racist. That's me telling y'all exactly what it was and how it was. Point blank period. If there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There was not a place that you could walk through in that Los Angeles County jail. And the Los Angeles County jail was kind of big, but you couldn't go nowhere in that entire building and it been a white boy there or a white man, right, that did not walk around with black eyes from getting beat up and assaulted and no shoes. They would get beat up and robbed of their shoes and any belongings that they had. That's an actual fact. That's what was happening. And a lot of, like I just described to you, as far as the O.J. Simpson case and all the racism that was going on, that was one of the reasons why that was happening to them. Hold on, let me cut this light on. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Okay, so yeah, during these times, man, a lot of that was happening, right? A lot of them was getting assaulted. A lot of them was getting robbed, right? So I remember throughout my whole time of being in there, every white man that you seen walking through that Los Angeles County jail had black eyes and no shoes. When you get your shoes took in there, the police, they not gonna give you no shoes. Back, they probably give y'all karate shoes and all that stuff now, but back then, oh nah, it wasn't happening. And that's a fact. So a lot of those dudes, when they got done like that, they had no shoes, no property, no nothing. Period. And that's just how it went. Okay, so bam. Now, fast forward to when I ran into Lyle Menendez. I run into Lyle Menendez just by chance because they had charged me and this guy from Pasadena who was a blood, right, in which this idiot Microcosmos or here described as him being my homeboy, right? Stupid. But anyway, when we got charged with attempted escape, me and the guy from Pasadena, right? And also, it was supposed to be the homie Evil Trey from Altadena Block. Somehow he escaped it, But when me and the blood dude got back to the Los Angeles County Jail, they threw us in hard tanks. Then they took us to the IRC, a area called IRC. When you come into the Los Angeles County Jail, you got to go through there first. That's where you get your wristband at. They take us there, cut my wristband off. I had a blue wristband. They changed it to a red. When you get a red, 9 times out of 10, you're going to high power. So when they did that, right, I had never had a red wristband. You got to remember, I was in the CRIP module and in the state module. So when they put the red wristband on me, I'm like, what the hell? And then they had me sitting inside this little bitty hard tank, right, for probably 4 or 5 hours. I'm talking about it was so small, and then the door had a small little window, but it had a flap on it, and the flap was closed, so I couldn't see nothing. And I'm sitting in that little tank for 4 or 5 hours. Fine, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, right? All my property is upstairs on a whole completely different floor. So bam, finally they come through after me sitting in the tank for all those hours and take me straight to 1750, which is high power, which is where they had O.J. Simpson, where they had Lyle Menendez, where they had all high profile people, right? So bam, when they take me to 1750, I'm standing there tripping like I ain't never even been in high power before, right? And a few minutes later, in comes the blood from Pasadena. So we looking at each other like, what the hell, right? So they tell us, yeah, y'all are here for attempted escape out of Pasadena court. So bam, I'm tripping like, this is crazy. So bam, after begging them, okay, here now, so F it. Now my mind is on getting my property because it's way up on the 2,000 floor at that time, right? Which or the 3,000 floor, right? So bam, now I want to get my property because I'm in a whole completely different module on a whole completely different floor with nothing. And they talking about they got me here because I was attempting to escape out of court. So bam, I'm begging them, okay, well, since I got to be here, please give me a cell with a top bunk. Because all them cells were single man cells over there, meaning there's only one person per cell in high power. So, bam. Anyway, they finally give me a cell with a top bunk. So, when I get in there, I'm in there making up my bed. The blood dude is probably like a cell away from me. And he's in there, putting his stuff up. And me and him start talking to each other over the tier, right? About we was just tripping on being in here. It's TVs in front of all the cells. There was no other place in the Los Angeles County Jail like that. It had TVs inside the cell. All the cells was clean and all this, right? So anyway, while we're talking amongst ourselves, we don't know who's down the tier. We don't know who's on this tier. So for whatever reason, we start talking about the Menendez brothers. I believe one of us was like, hey, ain't the Menendez brothers in high power and this and that and blah, 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 right? So that's how the conversation even started, right? So in the midst of that conversation, one of us brought up, the situation between him and his brother and his father doing the foul things that he was doing to him, allegedly, right? So bam. While we're talking about this, we hear people down the tier laughing, right? But I'm not paying no attention to. It's not registering to me. Again, we don't know who's down the tier, but I'm not thinking like, you know what I'm saying? They're laughing because one of these guys is in here. That ain't even registering to me like that. So anyway, as this idiot Microcosmo are here, right? The Reddit, I guess, editor or reporter or whatever he is, right? As he put it, we get in there and we get to talking about this man's case. The whole time he's in there listening to it, how humiliated he must have felt, being that we was talking about this and he didn't know us from Adam and this and that and all this bullshit, right? Now, this guy's approach on even doing this article was from the standpoint of him, I guess, standing behind the Menendez brothers, right? And so was the other people that was making comments on, and on top of that, they were saying that they would have much rather listen to him tell them about that story than hear me speak about it, right? So I'm like, wow, okay, y'all want to be disrespectful. And then he's describing the moment when, mind you, I told y'all my property was on a whole different floor. So my whole thing was I need to get my information to the sheriff so they can go up there and get my property from upstairs, right? So bam. Nobody come out that night, the first night we get in there. The very next morning, I'm up. I'm waiting on somebody to walk by, come down the tier because we was in the front. And I told y'all, like when we got in there, we in the first couple of cells. And then as you go down so far, it's a red line in the middle of it's a red line in the middle of the tier, right? So I guess everybody that was behind that red line, that was all the high profile people, right? So bam. That next morning, I'm up, I'm waiting, bam, I hear somebody's cell open, and I hear footsteps. So I'm standing there, I'm waiting, and this person is walking by, so I'm trying to get his attention. Hey, homie, hey, excuse me, right? Right? Bam, he turned around and looked at me, with the absolute most shittiest look on his face, looked me up and down, turned around, and kept going, right? Now, again, at this time, it don't register to me who this person is. I'm not tripping on that. My whole mind state was getting my property, getting this information to the police, to the sheriff, go get my property. That's all I cared about. So when he did that, remember I told you how the Caucasian men that was coming in there was getting done. So I wasn't used to that type of response. The way he did that was like on some gangster shit, right? So that's the way that I took it, right? But this microcosmo or here person, right, made it seem like I was a racist, made it seem like, oh, this white guy did this and this and that and blah blah blah. Well, I don't know if Lyle Menendez is white. He got a Hispanic last name. I don't know what his nationality is. He looked white to me, right? So I was mind blown by his response to that. So now I'm pacing back and forth in my cell. I'm hot because I want my property, right? Now, had I known that was Lyle Menendez at that time, then I probably would have understood that he was down the tier listening to me and the blood from Pasadena talk about him, right? Well, talk about what was in the media already. You feel me? So, bam, I'm pacing back and forth in my cell. Now I'm plotting. You got to come back by to get to your cell. So my thing was, I'm gonna try to get him as close as I can to the cell bars, because it's bars. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to get him as close as I can, right? And just fire his jaw, point blank, period, right? So bam. While I'm pacing back and forth, strategizing, right? Bam, I turn around and I look up and he's standing there, right? So he start, hey man, hey look, I apologize. How I acted earlier and this and that and blah 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 blah, right? So while he's standing there apologizing, I look, I say, oh man, this is Lyle Menendez. I swear to God, if I am lying, God strike me down right now. Stop my heart from beating, right? I'm standing here looking at this fool stand outside my cell, apologizing and this and that. Then he go on to say, what they saying about him in the news and the media is not true and all this shit, right? And he told me, give me your information. I'm gonna take it out to the sheriff. I got juice with him. I'm gonna see if I can help you get your property, right? So I thanked him, gave him the information that I already had wrote down. He walked off, bam. In about an hour, I had my property. Okay? Point blank, period. And hey, Kev Dog, hey, I'm gonna address everybody in the chat in a minute, man. Shout out, salute to all my co-hosts, all my loved ones in the chat, all my roundtable family. Kev Dog say one of them got a toupee. Okay, Lyle Menendez is the one that got the toupee. And what's relevant about what you just said right there, Big Kev Dog, is this idiot microcosmos or here, right? Now, I described Eric Menendez, right? At that time, because it was, like I said, I seen him in there all the time, right? But I remember, for whatever reason, he cut off all his hair bald, just like this, right? Cut off all his hair, his eyebrows, everything, right? And this idiot talking about, oh, he said that Eric Menendez had cut off his hair and his eyebrows, and he used to look down, all zombied out. Well, I never said he used to look down. I say he used to look straight forward. He didn't look around or nothing. He was zoned out. And they talking about, oh, he must have been off his medication. I don't know what that man was off of. You feel me? But I know one thing, he was on 17, he was up on in 1750. 1750 is the medical floor, right? 1750 is where they had 1750 is where they had what's that serial killer name? God damn, man. The East Side Slayer, right? That's where they had him up there. And back in the day when I used to work up on that floor, right? in the kitchen area, and they would never let us go down. There were certain parts on up there that they wouldn't let us go to, although we made their food. You feel me? So that's where they had Eric Menendez up there, right? So these fools talking about he ain't we when they was going to trial, we'd never seen Eric with a bald head and this and that and blah blah blah. He must have got him confused with, man. You think I don't know which one was which? You don't think I know which one? And how the hell do y'all know anything? Y'all wasn't even in the county jail. What if they wasn't going to trial, you idiot? When he shaved his head, what if they wasn't in trial at that time? Because they was in there for years. They was in there for years. So when Eric shaved his head and his eyebrows and all that, right? What if they wasn't going to trial? But you got these idiots in Reddit talking about I got them confused. It was Eric, the one that I had the confrontation with. That's bullshit. Straight up. I don't know why these people be trying to if you're gonna do a report on anything that especially me, you know what I'm saying, that I said, you idiot, if you was not in that Los Angeles County jail, don't try to come behind me and you know, switch up what was said. I know who I interacted with. I know what I seen. You feel me? Point blank period. Me and Lyle had that confrontation. I promise you that. And this is another thing, right? All those people that was in his comments, that was making comments and all that, right? Oh, how humiliated they must have felt hearing these guys, you know. Then they talk about you know, how I wanted to assault him because he gave me the dirty look, but I had that coming because we was talking about his case and how humiliated he must have felt and all this and that. All these people, I cannot believe that you got all these people, right, that stand behind these dudes. That actually it's a whole bunch of people that's really stand behind these dudes who unalived their mother and father. They blew their head off. Now, the allegations of the sexual abuse and all that, okay, I understand. You know, there needed to be punishment for that if it was true. If it was true, right? And what makes me question that is after they did it, after Eric and Lau unalived their mother and father, they went on a spending spree. They bought all kind of expensive cars. They was trying to buy different properties and Rolex watches and all this stuff, right? And how it even got discovered that they had did it, right? I believe it was Lyle who confided in one of his friends. I guess he was trying to open a business or help him open a business, and they had a confrontation over money, right? So the friend went to the detectives and told. The detectives went and did their paperwork. Did a paper trail on all this money that they were spending all of a sudden after they unalived their mother and father, and tried to blame it on the black man, saying that their house had got broken into. Right? But here it is. You got all these people that, they must have felt so bad and ridiculed, you know, behind them being in there and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, they went on a spending spree. They didn't feel too bad about it. They didn't feel too ridiculed. You feel me? But for these people to try to attack me, I'm talking about, I took it as it being a brutal attack just based on I am telling a story. I told a story on what I seen, my interaction with these people, right? And they took that, twisted it up like I was a racist, like we was in there mad because that's something else they said. Oh, he said that while he was in there, he used to see the police take the portable phone down to Lyle's cell. Right, and everybody else had to use the wall phone, and you know, it seemed like they was mad at him because he was high power, and his case was high profile, and he was getting a portable phone when they had to use the wall phone, and that his cell was clean. Well, in 1750, all the cells was clean. That was the cleanest part of the LA County jail I had ever been in, for one. Secondly, as far as him getting that portable phone, anybody could have got a portable phone with a court order. You have to pay for that shit. You feel me? If you can get your lawyer to get a court order to get that, which it costs money, anybody would have been able to get that portable phone. Unfortunately, I didn't unalive my parents and went on the spending spree with all this money to be able to get locked up after unaliving them and going on that spending spree, lying, talking about somebody broke in their house, a black man, you feel me? To be able to get a portable phone in the Los Angeles County Jail. We mad about that. Man, get the F out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? Insult. That was insult on top of injury. And I've always said, right? If the Menendez brothers beat me out of prison, that says a whole lot about this so-called justice system. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me get to this chat real quick. I don't want to ignore my people. Miss Golden, Miss Beautiful Golden, I love you. I send all my love to you as always. You know I love and appreciate you with my whole entire heart. Limes over lemon. What's happening, sis? Glad you was able to make the live. Guerrilla Warfare, shout out to you. I'm glad you was able to make the live too, Brody. Black, what's up, Brody? I'm glad you was able to make the live. Salute to you. Bobby J, what's happening, Brody? I appreciate you making the live. Send my love and respect to you as well. Big Kev Dog, of course. That's big bro right there. Send all my love and respect to you, Brody. Pam, what's up, sis? Glad you was able to make the live. Send my love and respect to you as well. Lines over lemon said it is extremely sad what happened to those kids. Well, men now. It is sad, right? It is. And like I said, if the allegations are true, then of course they should have faced punishment, right? But these dudes blew their head off and went on a spending spree. That's not a normal response to sexual assault. It ain't. I'm sorry. They blew their parents' head off, then lied and said a black man broke in their house and did it. They went on a spending spree, bought all this expensive stuff. They start spending their mother and father's money left and right. They went on a spending spree. Now, you know what they are trying to use as a connection to give them a pass for unaliving their mother and father? The fact that Eric was a psychopath, right, and needed to seek counseling. He went to a psychiatrist, right? It all seems staged to me. I'm sorry, right? But he went to a psychiatrist. It's almost like they planted this. Lyle is the smart one. Lyle is the one that pulled all the strings for everything. So I can absolutely see these guys setting this up. You go over to the psychologist, right, and tell them that our mother and father was doing all sexual things to us, right? Set the stage. So when it's time for them to do what they did, and if by chance they get caught, this is the grounds to get us back free on appeal. You feel me? Claim sexual assault. Because it makes where they made the mistake at is going on that spending spree. Period. Explain that. Can somebody please explain that? Please make that make sense to me. All these people that have all this sympathy for them, if by chance the sexual allegations are true, then they definitely should have faced some type of punishment, right? But these dudes blew their mother and father head off and then went on the spending spree and they lied about what happened to their mother and father. Pam's boys about to be free on parole. Like I said, if they beat me out of prison, something is wrong because I didn't unalive my mother and father. Big Kev Dog say, "Yup, cuz I seen OJ back in the county back in the day." Yeah, man, we seen him in there all the time, all the time. Moms over lemon say, "I don't feel your energy is racist. I believe the prison system pushes that narrative." Yeah, it's easy for them to push the narrative, being that everything is racially segregated in the jails. You feel me? However, me being a racist, right, is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Freedom ain't cheap. What's up, bro? He said, yo, Duroc, did the Norteños and blacks ever used to click up together? Um, there has never really been no beef like that between the blacks and Norteños. You feel me? To this day, they kind of function with us. You know, they kick it on the same side of the day room. They use the same phones, same showers, all that. You know, we do a lot of business with them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never really been no beef like that between us and them. Although certain things, have happened. You know what I'm saying, in different situations. However, like the overall, it ain't never been no beef between us like that. Big Kev Dog said, "Cuz I remember everything you talking about, and shoes they was keeping away from us. They really did. Yeah, man. Yep." Guerrilla Warfare said it was a lot of that all over around that era. Yeah, man. Hey, bro, y'all gotta remember now when the Rodney King stuff happened, right? At that time, I believe I was in juvenile camp, and I remember being in juvenile camp. I was in Camp Gonzales, in the hole. And I remember going out for the shower one day, and as I was walking past, coming from the shower, going back to my cell, they had like this little day room, right, where we used to be able to sneak up in there, and they had a TV on in there. And I remember the staff being in there with the TV on, watching this on the news, and me standing there tripping, and we all talking about the situation, right? And then, you know, after that, I guess the trial happened, and then everything else transpired as far as the LA riots and all that stuff go. And then the trial with the police, and you know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of that stuff going on back then, bro. So you take that and you equate it into the OJ Simpson stuff, right? Now, OJ was accused of unaliving his wife and another guy that was with his wife, right? And then you had corruption, racial corruption involved in that. So with all that racial tension that was going on, and dudes was getting set up on different cases in that Los Angeles County jail, the only get back that dudes was able to get was if a white person came in that Los Angeles County jail, man, they caught the blues. That's just the truth. Each and every one. It was only a couple that I seen that came and tried to stay down and stood their ground, but 98% of them, they caught the blues. Pam said, once a person say, you people, that's a red flag to know they are racist. Absolutely. Big Kev Dog say, inmate reception center. Oh yeah, that's the IRC. Limes Over Lemon said, high power is rough, only strong survive there. Odell Horton say, hey, what up, Creep? Did you see Malcolm X movie in the theaters? Can you respond after the story? Malcolm X. Malcolm X. I, I which movie are you talking about? I've seen a couple of Malcolm X movies, bro. Guerrilla Warfare said, put the Reddit guy's name up so I can check him out. It's Microcosmos or here, right? He spelled it different other than how I wrote it. I think it's MikrocosmosArehere. Look, this is what you do. Just go to Google and Google Swanglow Podcast. And as you scroll, it'll pop up. Cuz 3X say they're Cuban and white. Oh, okay. He talking about the Menendez brothers. Okay. Pam said, toupee in jail. Hey, the cool thing about it, when I had that interaction with Lyle, I didn't know that dude had fake hair. I didn't know. I knew it was all bushy and shit, but I didn't know it was fake. I didn't know he had the two-piece. I swear I didn't. Big Kev Dog say, I remember all this. You already know, for sure. He said, me, I was in and out in the regular back then. Oh, you was in and out the county? For sure. Dexter Robinson, what's up, bro? Glad you was able to make the live. Salute to you, my brethren. He said they killed their parents to get money and used the abuse as an scapegoat. That's exactly how I'm looking at it, bro. You feel me? That's not a regular response to somebody sexually assaulting you. You and the way they killed them, they did it so that they made sure that their mother and father wouldn't survive that, right? And once they did it, they immediately start spending their money, buying all those high price, expensive cars. They was trying to buy different properties. They was trying to buy all kind of stuff, buying Rolex watches. You feel me? Buying their friends expensive gifts, all that. And Lyle's friend, the one that turned him in, start questioning him about all this. And then they ended up falling out, I guess, over a faulty business deal. Limes over lemon said if they would have stayed low key, they would have got away with it. Yeah, the paper trail is what got them caught up. That's all they once they start spending all that money, and the friend went and told the detectives. You know what I'm saying? That the police did start doing the paper trail, and they seen them spending all this money, all this money, all this money immediately. Right? That's what got them where they at right now. Big Kev Dog say, I watched OJ ride by us on the 91 freeway back in the day. I got an OJ Simpson story, man. Right? I wasn't a big fan of OJ. I'm going to tell y'all about that in a second. Let me finish reading these comments. Pam said, a portable phone in jail? Never even heard that existed. Yeah. That, in all honesty, I had never seen that before. Right? Until that day, I'm sitting in that cell and I see the police walk by with that portable phone. I'm like, where the hell? And I look, and they took it right down the tier to Lyle Menendez cell. They would plug it. They had like a plug outside the cell door. They plug it up there, and they stick the portable phone inside the cell, and he was able to call out. Limes over lemon said, thank you very kindly, Mr. Duroc Creek. Xavier said, don't say chat. Let's call it something else. I don't like it. Rockiness monster. Hey, Xavier Orion, salute to you, man. I'm glad you made the live, man. You know what? I have to think of a name. It's the Roundtable family. I'm just gonna say Roundtable family. I ain't gonna say chat no more. You right, Xavier. My Roundtable family. J-Dub, what's up, bro? Salute. I'm glad you made the live, man. I send all my love and respect to you. It's my south side of homeboy right there. The Kev Dog said, you already know, homie, always, cuz I'm here for sure, man. Send all my love to you, big bro. You know that. Tommy Scott said, Trucker T out of the Scottsdale in Carson. All right, Trucker T, salute. I'm glad you made the live, Brody. Salute to you. You feel me? Salute to Scottsdale, too, as well. Dexter Robinson said, I think they did that mess for the Munyon. Of course. Of course, bro. Listen. It take a different kind of person to do, bro, your mother and father, the people that gave birth to you, the people that nurtured you, the people that brought you into this world from nothing, right? That raised you, fed you, clothed you, protected you, right? You do this to them. Even with the sexual assault, think about this. Think about all the people that has been done wrong by their parents, right? You don't hear too many cases where they blow their head off and then go on a spending spree. You feel me? You rarely hear of that type of thing happen, of them unaliving their parents, period. Think about them kids, all them kids that was chained up in that house and was done bad, malnutritious, and wasn't getting fed and all that, right? Even them, they didn't get out of that situation to go unalive them people. You feel me? Like, hey, it was for the money, bro. Period. Big Kev Dog say, and they wouldn't stop spending, cuz that's what I'm saying. They was good. They went on a cold spending spree, bro. They went on a cold spending spree. And when the police got up on their trail, when the police got up on them, they tried to say that a black man broke in their house and did this crime to their mother and father. They lied. So you go on a spending spree, then you lie? Crazy, crazy. Dexter Robinson said, plus they killed them in their sleep. Well, I don't know if they was asleep when they did it. I know they was sitting in the living room watching TV. And from everything that I heard, right, they bust through the door and just start shooting. No talking, no nothing. They just bust right through the door and start shooting. Didn't say nothing, didn't address them, no nothing. Just start shooting, bro. You feel me? Limes over lemons say, I think trauma pushes people to do the unthinkable. That has to be some of the coldest type of trauma, right? Because even in the worstest situations that a person could be faced with, right? Blowing your mother and father's head off and then going and on a spending spree, what type of trauma is that? I've never heard of that type of trauma. I'm sorry, Blondes over Lemon. The life and times of the uncarved. Salute to you, Brody. Glad you was able to make the live. He say all is well at the round table. I'm at work. All right, for sure, for sure. Glad you was still able to make it, Brody. Pam said, creep, you on your way out the door. Hey. Prayers on that. Prayers on that. For real, for real. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Speaking it into existence. Exactly, man. That's what I'm talking about, Pam. I appreciate you. I feel that too. I feel like it's coming soon. Jay Brown, what's up, Brody? I send my love and respect to you. Glad you was able to make the live, man. That's the other big bro right there. Big Kev Dog said it was wild. I first started my county jail career in 1989. Okay, I started 2 years after you. Big Kev Dog, 2 years after you, man. And that Los Angeles County Jail was no joke. That Los Angeles County Jail was no joke at all. I went through there at the age of 18, fresh out of juvenile camp. I didn't go to YA. I went straight from juvenile camp. I paroled out of Camp Gonzales, straight to the Los Angeles County Jail to prison. Pam said they had to let OJ go because that Rodney King thing showed the power and it was still fresh, in my opinion. Yeah, Pam said when I was in Panama prison, high power area was tough because of the exposure, especially if you were American, anyone from different countries. Yeah, that Panama, hey, that's a whole different level of doing time right there from what I heard. Pam say Menendez is a Spanish last name. Correction, Hispanic variant. So basically it comes from Spanish. The Tickster, what's up, bro? Salute to you, man. Glad you was able to make the live, Brody. Send my love and respect to you as always. Big Kev Dog say a mortal sin, homie. It absolutely your parents? Your parents, bro. Looking them in the eyes while you are blowing their face off, their head off. And then I don't know what type of trauma that could be when you do something like that, and then you go start spending all their money up. You feel me? Yeah, that's nasty work. Big Kev dog say we just don't do that, bro. Do that, brother. That's facts. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine. That's why I say like you know what I'm saying? Lyle is the smart one. If you go look at their interviews, right? And from everything that I remember the trial. I remember watching that trial. We was forced to watch it. You know what I mean? So everything that I remember about that, he was the smart one. I can absolutely see them plotting and planning that out from A to Z, including having Eric go to the psychiatrist that he was seeing, planting that seed of abuse. Although the psychiatrist is supposed to be sworn under um um what they call that he's not an attorney but doctor client privilege or whatever, right? They supposed to be sworn up under that. However, the police apparently made him tell what Eric told him. Just BS, bro. BS. Y'all don't go through that sexual assault and then you start going on the spending spree. I just can't buy it. So again, if they beat me out of prison after what they did, that's nasty work. Face the music, my Brody. What's up, man? Glad you was able to make the live, man. Salute to you. I send all my love and respect to you as well. You know that. Limes Over Lemon said, I've met all types of women who committed that type of stuff in prison. I'm not surprised, no, not shocked how and why someone kills. Well, I ain't never met nobody that unalived their parents. I don't know nobody personally that I can say unalived their parents. Now, I've seen situations where the parents unalived the kid. I've seen that. But the kid unaliving the parent, I ain't never seen that. I don't know nobody that ever did that. Beach Boy, what up, Brody? Salute to you. I send my love and respect to you as always, my brethren. You feel me? Hope everything is good out there with you. Glad you was able to make the live, bro. Jay Brown say my time was in 1979 to 1980. See, hey, Jake is an OG, man. Jake is an OG, man. That's big bro right there. Big Kev Dog say OJ got off because of Johnny Cochran, homegirl. Johnny Cochran was a cold lawyer, man. If it don't fit, you must acquit. Most famous line ever. You feel me? So you right by that, Big Kev Dog. That's a fact. Beach Boy said that's a different type of savage to knock moms and pops off. That's what I'm saying, Beach Boy. That's what I'm saying. How many people do you know ever in history that I'm saying specifically in your personal life, Beach Boy, do you know anybody that unalived their mother and father? No matter what the circumstances was. I don't. I've never, ever seen that, ever. You feel me? And there's been many cases of sexual abuse and sexual assault by a parent to their own kids. And I haven't seen them unalive them in this fashion. Never. Let alone do it and then start spending all their money up. You living it up without hurt in the world. And then you lie and say somebody broke in the house and did this. They actually cry. Oh, man. Hey, bro. Look, do the research to those of y'all that's not familiar with the Menendez brothers case. Do your research on it, bro. For real. Big Kev, dog. Oh, Pam said, Big Kev, if they would have found him guilty, they would have burned down the city again like Rodney King, respectfully. You talking about OJ? Hey, look. Hey, Pam, look. Let me tell you this. When OJ got found not guilty, you know what happened? And that was we was in the Crip module when that happened. I was in the Crip module. I was in the Los Angeles County Jail Crip module when that happened, when he got found not guilty. You know what they did? They locked down the whole Los Angeles County Jail. They put every floor, the whole building on lockdown. You feel me? And all of us that was going to trial, because I had just started going to trial. It was a whole lot of us that was going to trial at this time, right? They felt that OJ, they felt so strong that he was guilty of this. I couldn't see them possibly purposely letting him off. They felt he was so guilty of this. Those of us that followed behind him that went to trial all got found guilty. All got found guilty. All of us. That's a fact. So the burdens of that specific case, right, with OJ walking off with two unalive white people, right, effed up everything for everybody else. They was hot to this very day, whether OJ did it or not, right? To this very day, you have people that's still hot behind that because they feel strongly in their heart that he did it. So no, I can't agree with you on that, Pam. That nah, nah. I can't agree with that, sis. I'm sorry. Damo, what's up, Brody? I'm glad you was able to make the live, man. I send my love and respect to you as always. That's my bro right there, man. Shout out to you, man. Send all love and respect to you, bro. Big Kev Dog said, of course we would have, but that wasn't why he was found not guilty. If it don't fit you, if it don't fit, you know the rest. Cuz 3X said Eric Menendez was in Israel participating in a tennis tournament. Yeah, they was playing tennis. I forgot all about that when his brother Lyle was arrested. Yeah, they was playing I think they were supposed to be playing professional tennis or something like that, right? But I do remember them taking the tennis lessons and all that. You're right. You're right. They went on about their life, bro. Who can go on about their life after blowing their mother and father head off? I'm glad you pointed that out, Brody. Dexter Robinson said, normally sexual trauma suppresses a person to permanently makes them a victim, not turn them to killers or their predators. There would be hundreds of dead priests if it went down like that. Facts. Preach. See, this is why y'all are my co-host. This is why. That is a fact, bro. I've never heard that it would be hundreds and hundreds upon people, parents that have lost their life for sexual abuse and assault on their children. That's a fact. And I again, I can't express enough that I have never seen that happen before. This is a first. The Menendez, and this is why that case was so big. This is why it was so big, because this is not normal. What they did is not normal. Beach Boy said, never. That's unheard of in the ghetto. Them dudes plotted on their parents. Paper, they wanted it all. Facts. Straight facts. Facts on top of facts, bro. Face the Music said, I've only been to the pen one time in my life. One long ass time. Hey, I know, Face. I know, man. Thank God that you got out. Thank God that you got out and you was able to pick back up the pieces to your life, bro. You know what I mean? That's a blessing. A true blessing. Boy said, I believe the court system took their anger out on brothers because of the OJ trial. They did, bro. They did. Because you got to think about it. And I'm almost positive, like, if you go look at the percentage of the people that was going to trial after OJ, immediately after, right? Like myself, a whole bunch of us got found guilty. A whole bunch of us, they was hot. They was not pleased about him walking off like that. You feel me? So there was no way in the world that they would have just purposely let him go. Pam said, but he paid later for reclaiming his things. It's okay. We can have difference of opinion. Of course, Pam. Come on now. Come on now. Hey, everybody is not going to always agree on every single thing. That's the beauty of this round table. Why you think we come sit at this round? We kicking these different thoughts and opinions around the round table. You feel me? So yeah, you don't feel attacked, Pam. You are part of this family. You know, your opinion do matter. We're taking it all in. Everybody's opinion is important here. You feel me? However, I can't agree with the fact that this was purposely done so that people wouldn't riot. You know what I'm saying? I can't agree with that. You got to think about this. Think about before he got locked up. When in the Bronco, when him and his boy AC, right? The police chase and all that. You know what I'm saying? Then you had people all over the world rooting for his getaway. You feel me? Face the Music said, I'm a victim of the OJ verdict for sure. Riverside County was a prison waiting room for niggas. Hey, man. Hey, Face. They were so mad behind OJ beating that case because you got to think about everything that they did to try to get him convicted. The planted evidence, planted blood, put blood inside the man's truck and car and all this stuff, right? And only to turn around and the police that was working on the case was racist as hell. Mark Furman and all these people, come on, bro. They was racist. They was planting evidence. They wanted him. They wanted somebody to go down for those two people losing their life. And, you know, it's and let me say this. Like I said, I'm not a fan of OJ. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm going to tell y'all in a minute why. For more than one reason. Limes Over Lemons said, on my way to work, may all y'all have a peaceful evening. You too, sis. Glad you was able to make the live. Glad you was able to put your input in the chat. Salute to you, man. Peace and blessings. Big Kev Dog say, I truly believe that Eric was the ringleader, homie. He wanted to portray an image, and he wanted it sooner than later. Straight up. He could have been. He could have been. I could definitely be wrong about that. All that zombie shit he used to be up under, that all could have been act. So I wouldn't put it past him. He probably was the ringleader, Kev Dog. They probably both was, you know what I'm saying, extremely intelligent to the point where they thought that by setting the stage on everything, planting the seed of sexual assault, sexual abuse and all that by the parents, you know, would work. Had they not went on that spending spree, it probably would have. Big Kev Dog say OJ messed it up for everyone. Just think about domestic violence today. They taking everybody to jail. Women too. That's facts. That is absolute facts. Big Kev Dog say, yep, I was rooting for him. Cuz 3X said the only way to put a stop to getting removed from the wheel was to take their parents out. Beach Boy said, Face the Music, you know Riverside Courts has that reputation. Hold up, y'all. Has that reputation like Torrance, Long Beach, and Lancaster. Brothers never get a fair shake in them spots. Man, them was some of the coldest courts. Some of the coldest courts, too. That's facts. That's facts, Beach Boy. Hey, now look, let me tell y'all why I wasn't a big fan of O.J. Simpson, right? You know, when I was young, I used to go to a lot of Laker games at the farm in Inglewood, right? Always. I was at the Laker games all the time, right? And I remember being at a Laker game one day, standing out in the front of the farm. And where I was standing at is where you'll see all the cars come through, all the stars that drive by. You'll see all the media people out there with cameras and all the reporters and all that, right? So a lot of the stars that drive by, and they have the people taking their pictures and all this and that, right? Well, I remember standing right there, and at this time I had to be about 13 years old, right? And I'm standing out there and I'm mesmerized by all the people coming and going, these big Rolls Royces, expensive cars, and all this, right? Coming and going, right? Big Cab Dog say, "Yeah, on Manchester, yeah. Right there, yeah, right there on Manchester uh is that Prairie? Right? So anyway, I'm standing right there and I hear a horn. It's a lot of people out there, right? And I hear somebody honking their horn, and I hear somebody cussing as they honking their horn, right? But I'm not looking. I'm looking this way, and that honking and screaming and cussing and all that is coming from behind me. So bam, I hear people like, "That's a little boy. That's a little boy. Why you cussing at him like that? Why you cussing at him like that?" And this and that. So I turn around, and it's O.J. Simpson, right? And why the people, they start cussing him out because he's cussing at me. "Get your motherfucking ass off the street," and this and that, and blah 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 blah, right? So the people that's in the crowd with me, they start cussing him out. "That's a little boy. Why you talking to him like that?" And I remember him telling them like he shouldn't have his little ass in the street in the middle of the park where everybody driving, right? This is O.J. Simpson. He's driving a white Rolls Royce. I swear to God, he's driving a white Rolls Royce, and he had all white people in the car with him. Right now, I don't know if one of the white people was the lady who lost her life, Nicole Simpson. I don't know, but I know it was just a car full of white people while he's doing this. And I remember looking at him and recognizing, I'm like, "This is O.J. Simpson. This fool cussing me out," right? And from that point on, I hated him. You feel me? So any commercial I seen him in, or when he used to do he was like a sports commentator, right? Anything I seen him on, I never liked him. I hated him. So fast forward when I become an adult, he catch this case. I wasn't a fan. However, I did understand, what was going on. You feel me? Dude did not consider himself to be a black man, right? It's well documented and known that this is why Johnny Cochran was so cold, because Johnny Cochran knew this. This dude told them, "Hey, I'm not black. I'm OJ," right? And in his house, he didn't have not one black picture of his family, all white people. I swear to God, do your research. He didn't have no pictures of any black people. It was all white people in on the walls in his house on all his pictures. So Johnny Cochran went inside his house and took down all those pictures and replaced those pictures with black people. So when the jury went through there, right? Because the jury was gonna have to go through the house where where he lived at, and look through all this stuff. So they wanted the jury to have it in their mind that he had a connection to blacks more than he did. That dude didn't have no connection to black people like that. That's a fact. That's another reason why I didn't like it. But here it is. All the black people was in the uproar behind this fool getting locked up for the case that he got locked up for, which was unaliving the two white people. One being his wife, and the other being, I don't know if she was in a relationship with the young man that was with her, but they say he went into a blind rage. You feel me? Beach Boy said OJ told everyone he's not black. He didn't even deal with his black children from his first marriage. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. He didn't have no pictures of none of his family in his house. He had, hey man, hey Beach Boy, you on point with it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's a fact. Johnny Cochran was so cold, he went through there and tripped on that. All of them did. Everybody that was on that was defending him, all of them was tripping like this fool ain't got no pictures of none of his family, no black people. It was all white people. That's a fact. So they had to go in there and replace all those pictures and put black people in those picture frames. Pam say, wow, see, I never knew this. Yeah, Pam, that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. I'll BS you not. I would never, and that man is now deceased, so I would never speak falsehoods on the dead. I don't speak falsehoods, period. You feel me? But that's a fact. Face the Music said that was when they asked him why he wasn't joining Jim Brown, Kareem, and the other blacks in sports protests. Oh yeah, see? Face no? That's a fact, bro. He did not have a connection with black people like that at all. At all. So it was a trip. When he got arrested for this, all the black people was in the uproar. But also y'all gotta remember, you know, the riots, the LA riots and all that, right? He fell into the company of that because you had a lot of racist police that was on his case that was planting evidence. You feel me? So that's why he got the benefits of the black uproar. Although this dude, man, he looked at us like we was pieces of crap. Period. That's a fact. He didn't have no connection to us. He didn't want no connection to blacks. That's a fact. Dexter Robinson said, Dick Gregory said, Nicole and Ron Goldman, that's his name, Ron Goldman, were caught up in a mafia cocaine ring, and that's what got them killed. Oh, yeah. Hey, it was all kind of different twists and turns as to who did it, why they did it, right? But I know they was blaming OJ. I know they was planting evidence on him. You know what I'm saying? That I do know for a fact. Now, whether he has something to do with it or if it was a mafia ring that has something to do with it, I don't know, man. But why would you turn around and write a book called If I Did Do It and then go into all these details about what actually happened to these people losing their life? Shindiana Jones, you in prison. Did the blue shirt give it away? Yes, I am. Salute to you for joining the chat. I'm glad you made it, Shindiana Jones. Beach Boy said black folks only rally behind OJ because of all the losses and false imprisonments black folks was dealing with at that time. We needed a win. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. Pam says, see, that's why your voice is important. I just learned something. Hey, that's why all of our voices is important, Pam. You feel me? I'm not the only one that's speaking the truth about these situations, man. As you can see, I have a very intelligent, smart, roundtable family. All of y'all, that's why I say, man, I encourage the participation, the interaction, because y'all are my co-hosts. You feel me? Y'all are my co-hosts as well as my roundtable family. So everybody voice matter, whether we agree with everything or not, you know. We're not here to persecute each other. We are here to educate. Because I'm almost positive, Pam, there's others out there in the world like you that didn't know all these facts about all this stuff. Face the Music said, niggas shot Dick Gregory in the in the ass and told him to get up. I didn't know that, Face. Face said niggas shot Dick Gregory in the ass and told him to get up out of watch. That's crazy. Pam said, I'm going to ask my mother first thing in the morning. Pam said, Beach Boy, you got a point. Man, hey, this is a very, very intelligent, smart, wonderful round table family, man. I feel honored being at this table with y'all. Face is crazy, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. Hey, man. Hey, I'm telling you. Face said, facts. Dick Gregory tried to tell brothers to stop rioting in the Watts ride. That did he? I never knew that. That's crazy. And what? No way. That was gonna happen. They shot him in the ass. Oh man. Yeah, you can't go out there playing, man. Dexter Robinson said, that's news to me. That's real Watts insider info, man. Yeah, it is. Half of my family is out there from Watts. You feel me? If you ask my mama where she from, she gonna tell you she from Watts, California. Period. Half of my family from there. My cousins, uncles, my grandfather, rest his soul, aunties. Face the Music said, look it up, Google it. I believe it. You feel me? I believe it. Them was some cold times back then, man. There wasn't no way. Who is you? You think you finna come out here and tell somebody to stop doing something? Please. Hey, one thing that I can say, right? You're not gonna come to this round table and not learn something. We're all gonna come here and learn something. I learned something. I didn't know Dick Gregory got shot in the butt. I didn't know he went out there and tried to stop people from riding and got shot in his buttocks. I didn't know. We all learned something here, Pam. That's the importance of everybody having a voice here. Face the Music said, I used to spend the weekends in the Nickerson summer 87. Watts is live. Absolutely. Absolutely. Watts is most definitely live. I stayed out there with my grandfather, me and my moms when I was little. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather had that house on 95th and Carocious before I was born. He actually had two houses out there that he owned. You feel me? And everybody from my family eventually made their way through that house right there on 95th and Carocious. Everybody in my family. Of course, that he no longer had a house because he passed away. But yeah, man, hey, my family is out there. Promise you. And shout out to all them too. Pam said, sad, yeah. She said, it's sad to see we have more black movement freedom fighters. Face the Music said, I saw real in the park, hip hop, in the projects, DJ in the park type ish. I don't know why people don't be thinking that the Watts community, the Compton community, and all that don't be having it cracking out there, and they really do. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be from out there to understand, you know, how those areas work. You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't take kindly to outsiders, you know, having any type of, you know, you got to be from there to understand, you know, the dynamics. For real, for real. But yeah, man, this fool Microcosmos are here. The Reddit reporter, whoever this dude is, you know what I mean? Like he had me effed up. For real. To even try to bring into question, you know, the situation with the Menendez brothers. You know, trying to make it seem like I was a racist when I was just speaking truth, you know. And again, these are people that's on the outside looking in on that story. They ain't went to no county jail. They ain't went to the Los Angeles County Jail. They didn't go through those experiences. They wasn't in there to see these dudes. I was in there during the time when, like I said, the Menendez brothers was in there. O.J. Simpson was in there. The dude that was stalking Madonna, I can't remember his name. He was in there. Tupac came in there briefly right after I left High Power. I think for like a gun. He wasn't in there long. He was in and out. It was a number of people, the Cotton Field Killers. You know what I'm saying? It was a number of people that had went through that Los Angeles County Jail. Any high profile person that caught a case in the Los Angeles County area, you feel me, was gonna go through there. Period. And you're gonna see them in there. But next time you people call yourself doing a report on any story that I put out there, make sure you get your information right. Don't try to fit the story to your benefit because you're a Menendez brother supporter. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to twist things up like I was the one. Oh, I can't believe he was willing to assault this guy because he ignored him and walked off. But the whole time, y'all was talking about his case, and he had to sit there and listen to it. Oh my God, he must have felt so ridiculed by it. He said when he got on the stand, he would have rather have went to death row. Well, that's where he should have went. That money is what got him off. Because when you have more than one homicide, typically you get hit, and special circumstances because it involved all that money. That's another thing, right? 2 homicides, and basically it's a robbery because you spent all your parents' money like that. You know what I'm saying? Special circumstances all day get you put on the death row. How they was able to escape that? Money, 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 money. But to the average Joe like myself, I do some weird stuff like that, I'm going to death row. Period. Beach Boy said that they denied the Menendez brothers parole. Yep. I knew they were going to the board. Yeah, they denied them. What messed it up for them is when they changed the damn, what was that guy's name, man? Not the governor. Damn, I can't remember. But they changed the person that was overseeing all of our cases, right? Because the person that they had in there before is the one that was letting everybody out of prison, right? So right when their case came up, the cool thing about it, every time they was pushing the Menendez brothers, Gaston, him. Good looking Beach Boy. See, I told you my round table is the ish. But Gaston, look, every time they was pushing their case back in court, they was pushing mine back, right? And we fell up on the heels of Gaston leaving office. You know what I mean? Had he stayed in office, we would have been out of prison right now. When I say we, the Menendez brothers and myself, we would have been out right now. I promise you. But when they switched all that up and they put that other fool in, he put a hold on all that. That's why shit keep getting pushed back on my case. And every time they was pushing the Menendez brothers date back, they was pushing mine back. That's a fact. Gaston, that's his name, Brody. Pim said they had life without parole, too. Now they're eligible for parole. Oh yeah, they had changed that. That's what I'm saying, man. That's that money. That's that money. Life without parole, though, special circumstances, man. They killed 2 people, and they went on a spending spree. If that don't fit special circumstances, I don't know what fits special circumstances. When you get hit with special circumstances, you are going on death row. Period. Well, let me correct that. You're eligible for the death penalty. And there's different phases during after you go to trial and all that. There's different phases. Then you have to have another court proceeding, right? When you have special circumstances on your case, then you got to go through that stage. Then you go to death row. Once they found you suitable for that, then you go to death row. But again, they escaped that with that money, blood money, and the fact that they had already set the stage with the sexual assault stuff. Once they put the sexual assault allegations on the mother and father, and they said that the mother and father was doing it to him, and that the mother was going extra hard to try to cover up what the father was doing and all this and that. You had different family members saying that they knew that the father was tough on them, but as far as the sexual assault thing go, nobody ever seen that. They knew he was mean, they knew he was an asshole basically, but as far as the sexual assault go, nobody had seen it. So what this guy Eric Menendez was going in there doing with the psychologist is planting the seed of sexual assault. You feel me? And once they put their plan in motion and unalived the parents, all they had to do once they did that is not go on their spending spree, and they would have still been out right now. But that's where they messed up at. They immediately start spending all that money, living lavish, like bro said, like Cuz 3X said. They had tennis lessons. Eric was way out in a different country. You know what I'm saying? At a tennis tournament. So, hey man, all y'all got to do just do a little bit of research in y'all free time about this, man. As a matter of fact, go watch the movie. They got a couple of movies on the Menendez brothers, that highlight out different facts about what actually took place. Pam said, and they still have access to the money. Yeah. That's how they was able to get the lawyers that they got. They had top-notch representation. That's why they didn't get the death penalty. That's why they was able to get they cases back in court with proper representation. If I had proper representation, I wouldn't be in prison right now. I went to trial twice. My first trial, I got a hung jury. Everybody like, oh, you coming home, you finna beat it, you coming home, right? Second trial, after I got the hung jury on the first trial, they offered me a deal. You know what that offer was? You know what the deal was? 32 years to life. They offered me 32 years to life as a deal. You feel me? No, we not from 32. Get up out of here with that, man. Come on, run that back. We going to trial. You feel me? So, but again, a lot of us don't have proper legal representation when we fight those cases. We're not afforded that opportunity like that, like these guys did. And again, they use blood money to get them, from going to death row. They use that blood money to get that life without knocked down to what it is now. You feel me? Like different stages they paid to get where they're at right now. But again, I will say it and I will say it again. If they beat me up, the system is completely boo-boo. Period. Ain't no way you unalive your mother and father, blow both of their heads off, and immediately go on a spending spree. You lie and say a black man broke in your house and did this and did that. You know what I'm saying? And you cry. You know what I'm saying? When the police get up on y'all, you cry. Oh, right? The whole time y'all are spending all this money on different shit. You feel me? So, yeah, man. Pam said, Pam said, you and your wife and mom to create a petition with signatures. They will see you still have family and the community who stand with you. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Everything is still in court right now. Like my court proceedings, all that stuff is in court right now, right? And it's a waiting game. Unfortunately, it's a waiting game. Unfortunately, I'm dealing with a state appointed attorney. And again, had I had the money that they got, I don't want no blood money. I don't want no blood money. I don't want it like that. But had I had the proper representation, I would be out easy, easy. Beach Boys say, I wonder if the state of California seized the money because of the type of crime the Menendez brothers did. Hey, I would have thought that they would have shut down all those accounts to the money, but I believe they was able to get some of that money and put it in different accounts, um, um, like offshore accounts and stuff. Hey, they did a lot of scandalous stuff when it came to that money, bro. They did a lot of scandalous stuff when it came to the money, which means this was premeditated. All of it was premeditated. When you moving money around like that and you go on a spending spree like that, that's premeditation all day. You showing no signs of sexual abuse, you know, blowing your parents' head off and then moving that money like that and spending that money like that and going about your merry way living. Eric was at a tennis tournament out the country. That's a fact. Pam said they was already getting things in order from the looks of it, from all the that I know about the case, right? They absolutely was getting everything in order. They was pushing their chess pieces around. Again, and like Big Kev Dog said, shit, as crazy as the dude Eric was made out to be, he could have actually been the mastermind. Because I swear to God, when I seen this dude in the county jail, each and every time he was real pale. He was real pale, had big ears, with a bald head, with no eyebrows on. I remember seeing him like that before, right? And he'll be just zombied out, just looking straight forward. Every time I seen him coming and going. The other one, Lyle, the one that I had the incident with, he was more, social. You feel me? With the bushy hair. He was more social. That's a fact. But yeah, Pam, you're right. I know that would make a big difference, man. We're gonna do everything that we got to do in our power as far as, when it to petitions, you know what I mean? Getting different um community activists, whoever we can get to come and speak and put in letters and all that on my behalf. A lot of that stuff do account for something, especially in the eyes of the judge. Beach Boy said premeditation and robbery, homicide, but damn, you don't do your parents like that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, bro. That's why I find it hard to believe like you an animal. You are different, you know, um, to look the people that birthed you in the eyes as you blow their head off. And then go about your life on a spending spree. You lied after you do it. You lied, said somebody broke in, y'all wasn't there, or you was off doing something when it happened, right? And then you go on this mad major spending spree, right? Moving money around, offshore accounts and all wherever they were sending that money to, that they still have access to this day. Always thought after something like that happened that they would shut all that down. You feel me? So yeah, hey, it's crazy, bro. I want to send a shout out too, man, to all the real ones too, man. All the other real podcasters that's out there that's doing their thing, that's standing on business. Real grown men, real grown women. You know, salute to 16 of Life, my bro. Salute to Damian Porter. Salute to Dalmu Keyway Conversation. Deuce M's Yael. Salute to Young Triggerbird. Salute to ODM Slim. Salute to all the real ones. If I didn't mention you and you real, you know what I'm saying? Don't be offended. You know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all as well, man. Salute to everybody that's trying to make a difference, man, in the community. That's delivering the truth about any and everything that's going on, man. Within the gang culture in the world, period. I stand behind all real dudes, man. Straight up, all the real ones. Salute to everybody that want to see change, that want to see some positive, growth in our community with the people that want the positiveness. You know what I'm saying? That's not out there endorsing no bullshit. You feel me? I want a space where my little nephews and nieces can grow up, man, and not have to, they can go out, play basketball, whatever they into, and not have to worry about no dumb idiot going shooting something up or getting harassed or bullied. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the way to live, man. Not at all. Not at all. I hate seeing it. I hate hearing that shit. Anytime I get to look these young kids in the eyes, man, I see their innocence and purity. And they deserve to have that. You feel me? They deserve to have that, man. And anybody that got kids, y'all should want better for them. Y'all should want, them to be able to live a pure life without being corrupted with the bullshit that's going on in the world right now, For real, for real. Beach Boy said, for real, salute to the real podcasters, because the way things going, y'all are becoming the minority, which is sad. It really is, bro. It really is, Beach Boy, man. They trying to water down everything. They trying to replace, the real voices, the people that do come with substance, with the watered down PC version of everything that's going on. And like, come on, that's not reality. That's something that they want it like that. You feel me? Because it makes these people feel more comfortable, having these type of people around, bro. But what good is that doing? That's not doing no good to nobody's community at all. People deserve the real. People deserve to hear the real. People deserve to get the real. They don't deserve a false narrative, bullshit person, that's pushing the PC motive. You know what I mean? Straight up. That's why I find it important, for all of us, man, that do stand for something, that really do care. It ain't just my community, bro. You know what I mean? It's everybody community. It's everybody all over California, in every state, all over the world. You know what I mean? We got to create a more stronger existence for the people that actually is trying to make a difference, so that these kids can have a fair chance, a fair shake at life. That's why I always tell these people, man, these young dudes, you don't have to be no gang member to be relevant, man. Take it from a gang member. Take it from a gang member that's in one of the worst positions that you can ever be in. You feel me? These 31 years in prison is not gonna be done in vain. And me being able to have this round table, this platform, to be able to spread positiveness. This is coming from a person that's I am an actual gang affiliate that is in prison, that has been in prison for all these years, that's telling y'all this. If I'm telling you, you don't have to be a gang member to be relevant. You don't have to choose that life. Nothing comes from that life. You feel me? A lot of people choose to go that route because they got, probably family members or people that they grew up with that chose that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, man. Take it from a person that live it. You feel me? This ain't me just talking. This ain't me just talking and trying to make it sound good or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. This is a person you know that's fed up with seeing bullshit. That's fed up with seeing all these people pushing false narratives for their own self benefit. When these people don't give a f about the youth. They don't give a f about their community. They don't give a f about none of that. If you listen to what a lot of these dudes be saying, on these YouTube channels, the ones that don't have no substance, that don't really stand for shit, you can see right through the bullshit narrative that they come and try to push. You can see right through it. Anytime a man comes and preach falsehoods, right, with nothing behind it, right? Meaning, okay, if you come in and you're speaking against a particular group, what solution do you have that's going to better the public? If I don't hear no solution behind your narrative, then I know it's bullshit. Period. And I got to call you on it. Period. Pam said 31 years and I don't see any bitterness. The youth is the future. Hey, Pam, look. Thank you for saying that. I definitely appreciate that, right? There's no time for bitterness when the mission is greater. You know what I'm saying? I can come on here and cry and complain about the injustice of my case and everything surrounding it, right? All day, every day. But what good does that do us? That does us no good at all. But what I would love to work on is a solid solution, which is starting exactly where we're at right now, right? By telling these dudes, hey, you don't have to do this. And this is coming from a person that's in a very, very bad predicament right now, right? That has been in this predicament for a very long time, probably longer than a whole lot of y'all have been alive, right? That's telling you getting an actual cheat sheet on what your future can be if you keep being an idiot and keep effing up. Leave them drugs alone, man. They putting fentanyl in all the drugs. It ain't just the hard shit. They putting that shit in weed too. You know what I'm saying? And that's messing a lot of these dudes' minds up, man, which is why the only thing that's feasible to me, why a lot of them dudes is out there doing a lot of the bullshit that they doing, like shooting in a crowd of kids and women, killing community activists. You know what I'm saying? It's because they are under the influence of these drugs and of bullshit ass gang members. And bullshit ass parents too, because a lot of these dudes is young, which means some of their parents are still in their life. And the parents is just throwing them out to the wolves. And the streets is gladly taking them. Oh, your parents, come on, we'll take you. We got a home for you. But you ain't gonna be nothing but a foot soldier. You feel me? And once your services to being a foot soldier is over with, then that system is gonna get you. And that system, once you get in that system, doing the bullshit that y'all doing out there, shooting in the crowd of kids and women, hey, you're gonna end up in that system, and then your big homies is gonna tell you, go to the PC yard. They don't give a F about you. Anybody that's encouraging you young dudes to go to a 50-50 PC yard, bro, hey, after you was a foot soldier out there shooting in the crowd of women and kids, go to a PC yard, bro. Don't go to the level 4 where they all mad and bitter and they want to crash you. No, they don't. They not mad and they not bitter or none of that. The only way you gonna get crashed is you committing the crimes that you did, shooting in the crowd of women and children. That's what's gonna get you crashed. And I can promise you to the guilty, hey, I promise you this. You're not gonna make it on the main line, bro. So I encourage any of y'all, you know, that if you don't have no gang attachments, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. You don't have to join that shit to be relevant. You know what I'm saying? And that's coming from a person that is still attached to that gang culture. But you would never hear me come on here telling y'all to go and commit no crimes on nobody. You would never hear me come on here telling y'all, go join this gang. Go join this gang. Go commit this crime. Don't listen to your mother and father. Go hang out in the streets. All the shit that's gonna lead you to nothing. That shit leads you to nothing. I did that shit. I fucked my whole life off because I put that before the things that really is supposed to matter to you, like your family. If you got kids, your kids. I put that shit before all the things, the people that's in my life right now, like my moms and my sister, my brothers, my nieces and nephews, right? Man, I got to talk to them on FaceTime. Sitting inside this cell. Like how I'm talking to y'all, I got to talk to my family just like this, bro. That's fucked up. That ain't nothing to be proud of. You think I'm proud of this shit? You think I would ever encourage anybody else's kids to come live like this? You feel me? So no, I cannot come here and push no false narratives and feed y'all no bullshit. Never. I never will. It's not gonna happen. And that's coming from a person that actually cares, right? To anybody that's out there, man, that may see this video, or if somebody shared to somebody, you know what I'm saying, and y'all catch this, I don't know y'all. If you're a person that's young, I don't know y'all. And this is a person that is in this prison telling you, if you got a dream, if you are good at whatever, rapping, basketball, football, you want to be a doctor, you might want to be the president one day or whatever, right? Pursue that shit. Pursue that. You have a better outcome at becoming that than becoming a successful gang member. And that's a fact. No one else. Salute to you, Brody. Grape Street, what up, bro? Eastside 103rd. He say, I got all the hood videos for sure. Marshawn, front for death, creep any day. What's up, bro? That's Do Dirt. Do Dirt. I'm gonna hit you tomorrow. Panamaniac, what's up, Brody? Salute to you, man. I'm glad y'all was able to make the live, man. Salute. I send all my love and respect to y'all, both of y'all. Creep, what it do? Beach Boy say, bro, the message you bring is always solid and authentic. It's night and day compared to the dudes that's doing time with a YouTube channel. Yeah, man. Hey, bro. Hopefully one day the other people that is doing YouTube from prison or whatnot, right? Hopefully they one day, and I believe they will, right, have the epiphany of realizing if they're not pushing the right narrative to the crowd that they are fortunate to have, right? Just imagine the ones that do have a big audience, how much change that they can make if they attach the right messages behind it instead of using that shit for gang content. You feel me? That gang shit, like man, come on, bro. If you are in here behind any gang activity, if you in prison, in jail, or any of that shit behind any gang activity, and you still pushing that narrative, your existence ain't gonna be long, man. You feel me? So people got to utilize they platforms, man, to you know, create a better space. You got a lot of young dudes that look up to a lot of these people, man, that do have YouTube channels, bro, and you know, you can't use that shit for evil. At some point, you're gonna have to have an epiphany where you're gonna want better. You're gonna actually want better. You're gonna get tired of seeing young dudes come around you with all that time and come in all zombied out and you know what I'm saying, off drugs and you know what I'm saying, come in the prison and get their whole career wrecked. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do dirt. I got your number right here. Look, I ain't show it on camera. I ain't gonna show it on camera, but I was just going through my little phone book right here. I ain't gonna show you a number, but look, I swear to God. Hold up. Block it out with this. That's your number right up under there, bro. Right? So I'm gonna hit you tomorrow. I promise you. Don't even trip. I got you, Brody. That's my bro right there, man, from Front Street Watch, bro. That's my bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do dirt. I actually had did a story talking about um when you and Wood Rat was Sellies. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when we used to be blowing the weed and all that. I had talked about that, bro. You feel me? Damn, that's crazy, man. That's my bro right there, man. I send all my love and respect to you, do dirt, for real, for real. I got you. I'm gonna hit you tomorrow. Which one is it? It's called, the video is called "The People That I Was on the Level 4 Prison Yard With." Go to my videos on here, right? I did that video like a couple of months ago. It's called "The People That I Was, the Crips I Was on the Level 4 Yard With." And I was showing a picture. I thought I had that picture of you, but I gave it to T Bone. You feel me? Jake Brown said, Wood Rat RIP, yeah. Wow. I didn't know that. Dang. All these people, bro, that oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Don't trip. I'm gonna hit you tomorrow. I promise you. Tomorrow you will be getting a call from me. Damn, I didn't know Wood Rat got killed though, man. That's crazy, bro. I just did a show talking about the people that I was with that lost their life, unfortunately. Dude Dirt say no, cuz on the streets. Oh, so he didn't. Jake Brown must be talking about another Wood Rat. I would pull this picture out, but I think I got those pictures and stuff put up somewhere. Oh, Big Wood Rat. Okay. No, no, no. He ain't from Compton, Jake. Wood Rat was from Kitchen Crib. Hey, y'all, but I'm finna get ready to get on up out here, man. Yeah, yeah. Tiny Wood Rat. His name was Tiny Wood Rat. Kitchen. Yeah, but I'm finna get ready to get up out of here. I'm finna let y'all get back to the rest of y'all night, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in. Much love to all my round table family. Salute to all of y'all, man, for tapping in, sitting at the round table, participating as usual. Hey, I love y'all, man. I got the smartest round table family on YouTube. It's a blessing to be amongst y'all. It really is, man. For real, for real. So look, I'm gonna ask of y'all this, right? Please allow the people that's in your life to know that you love and appreciate them while you can, because tomorrow is promised to none of us. It's important that I express that, you know, especially with everything going on in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Dude Dirt say, remember me and Cuz used to be boxing like a mother. Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, I was down there at y'all cell all the time. Hey, Dude Dirt, you remember that time when you found that bat inside your cell? Bro found a bat, a real bat inside his cell. I went to his cell. He was in there going crazy, man. He trapped the bat inside a trash can. The bat was inside the trash can, trapped inside the trash can, going crazy like a motherfucker, right? I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? He like, it's a bat in my cell, cuz. It's a bat in my cell, right? Oh my God. Oh man. Hey, Dude Dirt, I love you, bro. Hey, I'm finna get up out of here. I'm gonna hit you tomorrow, Dude Dirt. Hey, to the Round Table family, we'll be here tomorrow. Same bat time. No pun intended. Same bat station, man. Hey, y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there, man. You feel me? I love all y'all. To the next time we meet at this round table, triple gang.